Hey, what's up? What's up? This your man Big Jack, and welcome to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show, where we have proven or we prove that we are stronger together. That if each one would reach one, we all can grow and glow. I am super excited today because we're here on the show today, and it's the day after we just did We Be Jamming live, and that was a ball. We had a really good time. Had some really good guests in here, and they really showed themselves. So I'm super excited about that. And now we're here. We're back. We're back on the stage. It's the Iron Shopping and Iron Show, and I got a very special guest with me, and I believe she is backstage right now. So I'm gonna bring her out on the stage, and we're gonna get moving. So one second, let me introduce to you. There she is, Miss Raven. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, doing fine. And thank you for joining me on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show.
Yeah,
All
thank you
right.
for having me.
Oh, no, you're more than welcome. So, how does it work? Right now, we are live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. So right now, we're live on those two. And people will start filtering in. And I don't know if you can see the comments over there, but they'll start filtering in. This was a little different. So we normally we're seven to eight, and then we have the after show. But I had to do a basketball game today. My youngest son had a basketball game, and so we took care of that, and that's how we showing up a little late. So, but it's all good. But
Yeah,
so how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Good productive weekend. I gave back to the community, did some self work, doing some housework now. So really good productive weekend.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. So again, thank you for being on the Iron Shopping Iron Show. And the first question I have for you, and we're gonna move on, is tell me about yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Dr. Raven Pharr. I am from Chicago, Illinois, born and raised. I came down to the South in 2013, where I attended Tennessee State University. And that's where I found my passion in terms of leadership, in terms of dance, in terms of mentorship, in terms of teaching. I'm currently an educator. I am in my 8th year in education. I taught math for 7 years. And this year, I started my first leadership position as a dean of students. Also an entrepreneur. I'm a professional braider. My brand is called Ray Braided in partnership with the R&B Beauty Bar with one
Mm.
of my good friends. And I also own vending machines called Ray Vending with the older cousin of mine. Her name is Lynette. I currently reside in Nashville, and I love to sing, dance. I'm the aunties of all aunties. I love the kids. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Well, that's a lot going on right there, man. So first thing I heard you say was you're a doctor. So, and I'm gonna
Yes.
take it that you're a doctor. It's not a medical doctor though.
No, I'm a doctor of education.
Of education. Okay, all right. So now, how was that journey to be a doctor of education? I mean, was it a tough journey, or how was it to get there?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the experience. One thing I really rave about my program, they purposely put us in a partnership dissertation process. And
Mm.
so usually at different universities, you're in silo, you're by yourself doing the work. But I really like that I was able to collaborate with someone because that's what my field is in education. We're collaborating all the time, and I'm a learner at heart. So really just being in the program with a person I wanted to be a partner with. They have this system where we rank each other, and I got my number 2 pick, and I was her number 1 pick.
Mm.
And so that really worked out well with us being in a partnership. And other groups had 3 people, and we were challenged, is what we were told, to have 2 people. But I think I really liked and I enjoyed the experience of just having 2 people. And with our topic, we were able to not choose, we were able to solve a real problem at a real school district versus sometimes in doctoral programs, you come up with one thing that's like your passion and you kind of take it and run with it. You, of course, collect data, but we had the opportunity to solve a real problem at a real school. And we did not get the topic that we wanted. That was also a ranking. And so at least we got the person we wanted to work with, but we didn't get the topic we wanted to work with. But it felt good to solve a real problem for a real school district.
Well, can you explain what the topic was, or is it top secret, or is it?
No, no, no. I'm a published author. Yes, anybody
Oh
can
wow,
look it
okay,
up.
all right.
Yeah, yeah. It's published, and so people have cited my work, and I can get like dings and emails to see that they cited my work. So our dissertation was basically two topics in one. School. So okay, it was about block scheduling, meaning students on a certain type of schedule and the impact on COVID and how that had to involve students in terms of their retainment of information. And also, did teachers have burnouts while they were virtually teaching as well, or not virtually teaching? Some people went back into the schools with the mask up and did the whole COVID procedures and whatnot. So it was a double dissertation where we talked about, did COVID really impact students' learning, meaning blended learning, virtual versus being in person, and what type of schedule during that time was best for students. Being, was it a B schedule, meaning that's 8 classes a semester, A days and then B days? Or is it a 4x4 schedule, meaning you just take these 4 classes for this one semester and you're done, and then you take another 4 classes the next semester and then you're done? So yeah, that was our topic.
So now, what was the results, if you don't mind me asking? I wonder now, how did that turn out?
Yes, so our results turned out that students did feel some type of burnout or did not retain as much information. Being in a blended learning environment, it was also challenging to build relationships with their teachers. And then we found that students favored the A-B schedule, being that you take those classes all school year versus the 4x4. If I learned some material in October and I have the end of course exams in May, and I've already been done with the class since December, I haven't looked at any of that work. So from January to May, I'm obtaining more information. So they found that the A-B schedule, taking their classes all school year, was more helpful than taking 4 in the fall and then taking another 4 in the spring.
Okay. And you're saying the blended was more of a burnout for the students?
Yes, because one, they were a one-to-one district, meaning everyone had computers and technology, but that it means everyone had the means at home, such as Wi-Fi, such as the capacity to be in an environment, to have the learning environment at their home. They could have had multiple siblings who were also virtually learning, and so having that aspect. A lot of students felt that they had burnt out, and teachers as well, trying to find different avenues of how to teach during virtual learning. Can't really distribute paper copies of things. And so really trying to be creative in their learning. And so what they did at that school district, I can't reveal the name, but I can reveal what they did was they went back to school. COVID hit in March. They took like a 2-week break and to figure things out. And they got back in April. And so a lot of
Wow.
schools did not do that. Yeah, a
Right,
lot of
right.
did not do that. And so that school decided to do that.
Oh wow, yeah. So I guess that's different because, like you see, you do hear it all over the place. Everyone tried a different strategy and all, and I know some school districts definitely went with a more of a blended or virtual program all the way across the board. And
Mhm.
so now, listening to how the study went with you, so I guess if someone was being homeschooled, would it be very similar to that if they were being homeschooled, or is that just totally different?
I think it'll be different because homeschool is a choice, and it it doesn't have the components of in-person school. So, such as students on trying to get scholarships to college, and they're an athlete, they couldn't go to school, or if they did, recruits weren't coming because it was COVID. So just the challenges of being relational, we found in our study, with having relationships with your peers, having relationships with your teachers and administrators, it was challenging for those students. So I definitely would think it'd be a difference because homeschool, you're choosing to be kind of in silo. You're choosing not to necessarily build those connections in person. So yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. So right now we're going to take a small break because we're at a 10-minute mark, and I want to acknowledge some of the people that's down in the chat right now. So I see Tamara Mathis is down there saying, "Hey, Big Jack" in the chat. Sharon Jackson. So we know who that lady is. That's my mom. So Sharon Jackson, hey,
Okay.
what's up? And we got Creating Changes down there. And then Rule Abbins, I believe they're from overseas. I see they're here. And Leah Yado, if I'm saying it right. So they're overseas. And I got a little commercial I want to drop on. So I'm gonna drop this commercial and then I'll come back and we're gonna talk right after the commercial. So all right, no problem. Give me 1 second. And all right, welcome back to the Iron Shopping and Iron Show. Got Dr. Raven Farr, as I'm saying it correct. Hope I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
All right. And this is a medical doctor. No, she's not. She's a doctor of education, and she was just explaining to us. Is it a doctor of education or what is it? What is it actually? How is what's the
Yes, it's a doctor of education. So my
okay.
major was learning organizations and strategic change with a certification in educational leadership.
Okay, all right. So not a problem. We got Dr. Farr here, and this is truly a blessing, and thank you for sharing the information. So that so I heard also in your introduction of introducing who you were, you said that you was a professional braider.
Yes, I'm a professional braider. I'll be celebrating 5 years March 5th of being a professional braider.
Okay, so now you got to explain that to me. So what
Yeah,
does that mean?
yeah. So I offer braid styles, and so in our culture, we have something called knotless braids. I specialize in those. It's similar to box braids. I've also have developed a curriculum where I am now teaching others how to build up their brand and become a professional braider as well. So I'm so excited to launch that. I've been practicing on a few people just to get, the ins and outs of, okay, I've taught math, but now I'm teaching someone a certain type of skill. And it's not a curriculum out there to say, this is how you should do it, because it's different ways that you can do it. So that's one piece in my braid business that I do. And so in partnership with one of my best friends, Brielle, she has a brand called Soft Beats by Bree, and together we are the R&B Beauty Bar. And what we strive to do is just create beauty for all women and men. If they want braids, they can come get braids too. And she does makeup, and we do personal styling as well.
All right, so now just asking it, it's just braiding. So if someone came to you with locks, they wouldn't. You don't do locks. You only do
I
the
don't
braid.
do locks. So it's interesting. I've been challenged a few times in my braid career where people have asked me, hey, can you braid over locks? And I've braided over locks about 4 times now. And it's definitely not nice on the hands, but I was really pleased with the outcome and was like, I never thought about this as, something to offer as a service. And recently we had an event yesterday where we give back to our community once a month, and we sponsor a free makeover for a cancer survivor or thriver.
Mm.
And our client actually had locks. And so I just simply styled her locks in some type of braid style. I didn't do any retwists or anything like that. So I dabble in it a lot here and there, but I don't offer it as a service at this time.
All right. Okay. And that's awesome. I mean, really, I've never heard of anyone. Now, I've heard of people that say they're beauticians. I heard of locticians and all, but no one. I've never heard anyone say that they were a professional braider. So that's why
Yeah,
definitely. So that's definitely awesome. So I know Denise Jackson's down in the chat, and she made a comment. Where are you located? So is that something you're willing to share, or?
yeah. I'm located in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, so you're in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, do you do your classes in person, or is it something that could be done virtually, or how does that work?
The goal is to become virtual eventually. Right now, I'm just starting fresh. My 5-year anniversary. I said I want to start teaching people. So I'm going to do the hands-on experience first, fine tune that, and then yes, my goal is to get to classes. Yep, online.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. So looking down in the chat real quick, we got what's that? Celine the Celestial, and I believe you're from Australia. So she's from Australia. Tamara Mathis, hello. How you doing, Tamara? Denise Jackson's out there in the chat. And Denise Jackson, that's my aunt. So if you didn't know, that's my aunt.
Oh,
So yeah, Aunt
hi.
Nisi, and then Sharon Jackson's still out there. We thank Sharon for being here. And I think Creating Change is also here. So Creating Change, how you doing? And welcome and thank you for hanging with us on the Iron Sharpening Iron show with Dr. Raven Pharr. So I also heard you say that you are a singer. You like to sing and dance.
I play sing. You know how you be in the car and all that. Yeah, I just have fun with it. I'm not serious about it at all. I've thought about joining the choir at church. Just haven't had the guts to do it yet. But I do love me some karaoke. I'll get on the karaoke mic. Yeah, I love that.
All right, all right. So then I don't know if you knew, but yesterday we did the We Be Jamming live. So we actually did a live show yesterday where we had four on the stage, but the goal was to get five artists on the stage and they'll perform. Each one do a different. We had some guitar players and singers. We had soloists, and the Heavy Hitters band was on. So they actually got it.
Yeah, awesome.
So maybe one of these. So every last Saturday of the month is when we do the live show. So maybe one time you'll grace us with your presence and come on.
Ooh.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
you can put any song you want, but we don't have any respective song if you want to put one out. So you don't have to come up with your own song. So
Oh,
what motivated you to work in the school system? What was that motivation? What got you into wanting to be an educator?
yeah, I have just always had a love for children. Always had a love for children. And I've always had a love for learning. I love, love, love to learn. I've been blessed to just have so many different talents. And within those talents, I've just always aspired to always keep learning. And once I learn something, give it back, give it back to the community and teach that. And so one piece of school that I loved while growing up was math. I loved math class. I've always had A's. I had got my first C in high school and I was just so devastated. And I really had a good conversation with that math teacher to just really understand that, you know, math can't be intimidating because I was intimidated in this class that I got to see in, but I didn't have to remain that way. And I took that and ran with it with my career. And so that's what inspired me to become a math teacher to our students because it can be intimidating. And I've taught 10th grade, for instance, and I always tell my students, I know you've seen math 9 times before me, but give me a try. Give me a
Yeah.
try.
Wow.
I really value details and breaking things down so students can learn and feel confident in what they're doing and be okay to make a mistake. That's why we go to school. That's why
Right.
we're here to learn. So yeah.
So now it's just as a parent of a teenager and going through all of this, it's just the new math that you're teaching, or is it? I mean, I know the old way to get it done, but there's a new way that's a little different for me.
It is just now changing. Like 2 years ago, the math was changing, and I've taught middle school and high school. So the new math is mostly in the elementary field. So I didn't have to dabble with that other than tutoring my nephews and him teaching me how they do it now. And then,
Right, right.
okay, I get it. Okay, this is how we did it back in the day. Because I'm still back in the day. I'm 30 years old. So I like to teach the way I was taught because I feel like sometimes it's just a little simpler. But I do see the benefit in the new math because some students need visuals, and usually in math it's just like a lot of steps, and I'm cool with steps. But for certain learners, you need certain type of visuals,
Right,
and so
right.
I'm receptive to some of the new math.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I'm messing with you because because you made the comment you're 30 years old, so you're back in the day. I'm like, whew, 30. That's back in the day. Hey, all you out there in the chat,
I
30
mean,
years old is back in the day. So we're not too bad then. We're not too bad. So that's
90s
good,
baby,
huh?
90s baby.
Yeah. Okay. I look, I'm only laughing. I'm way back in the day of you back in the day. So yeah. So did you I guess other than going to school, was there any other special education that you need? So to be like one, I didn't ask. Well, you said 10th grade, so you're teaching, or when you were teaching, it was 10th graders or high schoolers. I guess that's high school.
Yeah, so I've taught eighth grade for 2 years, seventh grade for 2 years, ninth grade for three, and 10th grade for 1 year.
Okay. Now, do you find it challenging being from back in the day and these students? I mean, they're probably taller than you, and a lot, of, especially athletes. They're some big guys. I know I was when I was in school. So, do you find that intimidating in any kind of way, or is it just you demand that respect, or how does that work? I'm trying to help. I guess some of our teachers that might be out there that's might or someone that's interested in getting into teaching. These are some of the things that you're going to face when you get in that school system.
Yeah, one thing about myself that I pride myself on, I'm a big relationship type of person in general. So when I build relationships with my students, I am very intentional. Um, whether that be the first week of school, we're not touching any math. You're getting to know me and I'm getting to know you. One key piece in education, your students have to know that you are a person and you make mistakes and you have a voice other than what you're obviously going to be teaching them. And so I like to dive into my story, who I am, where I'm from, what things I struggle with, and I'm a realist. And so no, I'm not intimidated by the big kids. I really be like, oh yeah, so what you gonna do about it? Yep, I'm looking up at you. What you gonna do? Because they try to play the game too, and they just giggle and laugh. But I'm a big relationship type person, and I care. You have to care about this work, and you have to care about kids to be in this type of work, and you have to care about yourself because it can become, if you're really involved in terms of the student's life and their livelihood. I've had mentees that I've helped learn how to drive and learn
Mm,
how to drive in my car. And
mm,
so it can become, to the point where you build certain connections that it goes that deep and you're like, I see a need and I want to meet that need. But you also have to make sure you pull back and you take care of yourself as well, because burnout is real. I burnt out my third year teaching, and what that means is just going on fumes, going, helping people, and not really taking the time to take care of myself and really ask myself, okay, let's pause. What do I need at this time? What day do I need to take off? And not feeling bad to take a day off. Don't feel bad to take a day off. You need to refuel yourself, whatever that is, and recharge yourself so you can be your best self for your students and your colleagues too.
all right, now is it true? Because I'm asking, and a lot of times we hear it. So I'm taking it. Teachers don't make a lot. They're not overpaid for sure. So
Right.
is it worth it? Is it worth it getting into it? I know, like, say you gotta have the passion, and you have the passions, but at the same time, when you go through a lot of education and things like that, and you have to, student loans and all those other things that you take on so that you can be in the position that you are.
Yeah.
I guess it could be challenging in that way, where it's like, for the work I put in, it has to be more than just the money. Then it definitely got to be more than the money.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, we are not overpaid as a career choice in general. I would
Mm,
gladly say that. But that is when you realize that I feel like no matter what career path I'm in, I need to continue to explore my talents.
mm,
Can this talent make money? I believe in multiple streams of income, regardless of what career path we're
mm,
in. The billionaires of billionaires have more than one stream of income.
mm,
And so why can't a teacher, for instance, have more than one stream of income? But when we really talk about the work, for me, I knew that I wanted to further my career in terms of my education. And so having a doctorate obviously puts you at a different pay scale, or
mm,
having a master's degree
mm.
puts you at a different pay scale. And then as you build up your years of experience, that puts you at a different pay scale. So it's definitely benefits to it. And I would say, in terms of loans, we also have great benefits of loans, of being educators. We are If you have teacher loans or educator loans or in a public service field, which we are, we service the public, you can get your loans forgiven. So I
Oh,
never really had to really worry about loans because I knew in my field they're going to be covered.
gotcha.
So that's why I just kept going to school, kept going to school, you know.
No,
So
that's good information. I mean, I know anyone out there who has that desires, that's
yeah,
definitely good information to know that one, you are in public service, so you are serving the
mhm,
public, and there are some credits for that and some rewards. So thank you for even sharing that information.
yeah.
Um,
And we get
so
good breaks too. The vacations are great. Like I
I
love
was
a whole
about to ask
summer
you that.
off.
So, do you like when the summertime come? Do you, or it don't even have to be summer, but when you get the summer break and also now I know sometimes some people that's when they do find those other ways of income and things like that because of the break. But I guess from what you were saying a couple of times about the burnout, that would be a good time to take that actual break and refuel and get yourself ready for the next year.
I agree. I have always told myself during my summers, I'm not working with students. I am tapping into other skills that I know that I need to develop or I have so that can become my multiple stream of income. And I'm also taking care of myself and kind of disconnecting for a moment. It's always good to step away from certain things. And then when you're ready, you pick it back up. And so summer is just a nice buffer of time to really dive into, okay, June, I'm tackling this skill. July, I'm tackling this skill. August is game time again. So yeah.
No, that's a good plan. It sounds like a good plan for you. So let me take a little break and acknowledge the people that's down there. I see William Jackson saying Big Jack and Dr. Pharr, hello. Celine the Celestial, I hope I'm saying that right. And saying she's saying hey. Tamara Mathis, hello. How you doing? Don't forget to double tap the live and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for that. And now we're gonna pop that on the screen so everybody don't double tap. So but and you see a lot of people if you're sitting in there, they're in their blue jacket. So if they got a blue jacket on, that means that they have earned the rights to be moderators. So some of these some of his like Celine is new, and I definitely will make sure I give her a blue jacket. But and I normally do it when the show is over. Denise Jackson came in through Facebook, so that's why she don't have her jacket on. And Sharon Jackson also came through Facebook, so they don't have the jacket on. But we thank you all for being in here. We got Dr. Raven Pharr, and she's explaining to us the education portion of it. She also is a professional hair braider, which is amazing in itself. Karaoke singer, and then you mentioned vending machines. So what's going on with the vending machines?
Yes. Yes. So I am year two in vending machines. I have an older cousin named Lynette. Shout out to Lynette B Fitness. She's experienced in business and she has her own gym in Chicago, back in my hometown. And I had the opportunity to purchase one machine for free. And I told the gentleman, what's wrong with the machine? Why do you want to give it away for free? Got into all the details. And he said he was just ready for it. His time has, lapsed with the machine itself at that location. And so then, like a week from there, he texted me again. Was like, I wanted to know if you would be interested in buying the whole business. And I said, oh, okay. I had not been interested to buy the whole business. But when God gives you things and put things on your mind and your heart, I'm like, okay, one should have been enough, right? But I said, let me entertain it. Let me see. Let me see. So he took me on a ride along to visit all of his machines and their locations. Some are in thrift stores, some are in schools, some are in mechanic shops. And he had a total of 16 vending machines that he was ready to let go.
Mm.
And I said, I cannot man this all by myself. Who can I get to partner with me? And I called my big cousin Lynette, and she said, let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to be the vending queens. Let's do it. And so I said, okay, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. And so we are at year two, and I am just one proud of myself for learning a whole nother skill in terms of mechanics. I am the mechanic operator for our business.
Okay.
I install credit card readers. None of the machines had credit card readers,
Right.
so they're all just cash only. I've installed 8 of them to this point. I've updated 5 machines. It's called a motherboard, which is the computer like
Right. Right.
system for the machine. I've installed those and I realized everything that I'm doing, it goes back to math and why I chose to teach and why I chose to be in education, because it's the details that matter. When I teach, I give every detail that you wouldn't even think you should have thought of, or where did this number come from. That's the same with vending machines. When you're in the mechanic side, it's steps, it's logic. So it kind of fed me in that way to take ownership, because my cousin was like, I don't know about that one. I can't do the mechanic part. And I said, well, I'll try. Let me try it. And it's been taking off. I used to call for help from the guy who I bought him from, but he really didn't know either. And so I've just, after a couple YouTube videos, and once you install 1 or 2, I'm like installing them in 30 minutes versus 3 hours. So
So
yeah.
y'all hear that out there, you YouTubers that's putting out those videos so that Dr. Raven can see how to do her machines. So that's where those content creators come in and they posting those videos, and it comes in handy. So we a lot of people here, and I just want to look at the chat again. I see LaShawn B is in there. Hello, LaShawn. MCK Paranormal Files is in there. Hello, Denise Jackson again. Celine, thank you. Tamara's out there. Sharon Jackson is out there. And we keep going up and make sure we hit everyone out there. I believe creating changes here. So we got Dr. Raven here. So now you didn't mention what products you have in your machines. You were just saying that you have machines. So what is it that what are you selling?
Yes, so we have 15 snack machines. And within those 15 snack machines, we have 7 that are the large snack machines that you normally see. And then we have 8 that are smaller. And those are for more compact places like mechanic shops. And so we sell all type of snacks, healthy snacks, not so healthy snacks, depending on, we like to personalize the experience for the location. So we ask the employees, we leave a survey, like a QR code on our vending machines to say request a snack. And so we really try to personalize the experience at each location. And we recently just made a major milestone in our business and bought our first drink machine. So I just got today, I just got from there installing the card reader and checking it out and seeing what's what. And I'm like, oh, if the refrigerator ever goes out, I don't know about
Oh
trying to
yeah,
fix
yeah.
that.
Well, yeah.
That's a different ball game. But I have just enjoyed the experience of learning, of just learning and taking the chance and just really trusting my cousin in her leadership and her knowledge. And just because I'm knowledgeable in one way doesn't mean, okay, you want to do the drink machine, okay, I'm a little nervous about it, but if you feel it, I'm with it. If we're with it, let's do it. And so I really enjoy just having the partnership to do this work. In all of my businesses, I love partnership and
Right.
collaboration to just learn from each other and grow.
Right, that's good. So one of my mottos, or one of the things we live by, is that we're stronger together. So that's the one thing that we prove with the iron sharpening iron, that we're stronger together, and
Yeah.
that if each one would just reach one, we can all grow and glow. So that's the whole thing. Is we got to help each other. We help each other. We make each other stronger, and we all can grow and glow together in that sense. So I'm excited. So now, are your machines in, you said Tennessee, or are
Yeah.
they in
All
Chicago?
they're in Nashville, and we have one location that's an hour away in Columbia that has our snack and drink machine in the same location.
Okay, so that's Nashville is where your drink machine is.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Oh,
no,
okay.
yeah. It's an hour
Okay.
from outside of Nashville.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. So, woo. All right. So, that's different. Now, do you stock it, or do you have someone else come in and actually fill the machine back up and things like that?
Yeah, so we are operating the business and we own it. So yeah, we do all of the work. We restock it. Lately, we have shifted in terms of my cousin has been restocking a lot, and I've been doing a lot of the mechanic side. We had got some grants, luckily small business grants,
Oh,
and we're able to upgrade some machines. And so I've kind of been taking on the mechanic piece of it and the customer service. Say a snack is stuck, and they reach out to our hotline. I'm over customer service, the mechanics, and she's been helping out with restocking all the machines that we have active.
all right. Well, that's good. That's good. Wow. So wait a minute. So you had to. I'm listening to you talk about it. When you got the business side of it, you got the mechanic side. You got to be a grant writer as well. Just to, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot
It's
more than
a lot.
just saying I have a machine and I'm making money. So it's a lot of work that goes into it. So
Yeah,
no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I
yeah.
definitely. I appreciate that. So it's a lot of different directions we could go with this. So I'm gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back because you got so much going on, and you say for a young person, or you say back in the day person, but yeah, yeah, for a 30-year old, you got a lot of stuff going on. So let me do a quick commercial break and recognize some of the people that's down here,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna drop this commercial when we come back. So I'm gonna do the commercial and then we'll be back. Give me a second. All right, we're back to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. I got Dr. Raven Pharr with me, and we've hit so many different areas today. So it's amazing. So what's your end goal? What's your next step? What's the next level you're trying to get to? We can hit each one. So let's say in the education field, what's the next step?
Yes, so in education, I've reached my dream job. A lot of people ask me, is assistant principal, principal next? This is the dream job, you know. So within education, I aspire to also continue education consultant work. I've dabbled in it a bit with Thurgood Marshall College funds, some local nonprofits, of just providing educational resources. So I would really love to take on education consultant on the road and go to different school districts and go to different classrooms and help coach and train teachers. So that is definitely on the next for education.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. So now, if I wanted to be an educator, I wanted to get into this field, what advice would you give me if I wanted to? I'm gonna be. I'm in college. Or I'm in high school right now. So I'm saying I want to go to college to be a teacher or to get into education. What would you say?
I would once say, um, know that you love kids, not like that you love kids, because it is a field where you are not just teaching math, science, ELA, English. You are teaching life. You have signed up to make a decision to correct behaviors, to correct mannerisms, to teach them content, obviously, and be a role model when you didn't even know that people were looking. So, really know that you love the work of allowing others to be connected to you, to learn from you, and to always be a learner. Always be willing to go the next step and say, okay, I applied for this teaching position. Let me now research the school. Let me see if there are any peers of mine whose parents teach at another school that I can go shadow and go shadow different classes and different grade levels and different content levels to really decide, I know I like education, but what would I do in education?
Mm.
So I would definitely say get a mentor, someone in the educational field, specifically a teacher if you want to aspire to be a teacher, get a teacher mentor, or if you're aspired to be a school leader, have two. You can have more than one mentor,
Right.
which I also advise as well. I've had multiple mentors in different fields than I've been in as well. So that would be some good starting points, foundational things. Get a mentor, go shadow, and know that you love the work of being with kids and building relationships.
Right. Well, that's good. Good information or good advice. I know Niecy Jackson said she said I love kids, so that's a good thing. So if she wanted to get into teaching, I mean that's definitely and it don't have to always be teaching because the fact that some like daycare centers and things that's still a form of teaching, form of education. So you don't have to be in the actual brick and mortar school to be a teacher. And that passion or that love for the kids is a I guess a key ingredient to go with it. You have to have that if you're going to get into it. Now we're going to switch to you said a professional hair braider, um, and now I'm still that same person. I want to become a professional hair braider, and I'm gonna say some of those schools will be in the same thing. Well, some not schools, but tools as far as being a good listener. Really got to like people because you're right there with them. So, so give me some advice. What would you give me?
Yeah, one I would say, uh, realize you are entering the ultimate customer service. When I realized that I was helping or enabling others to enhance their beauty, and I was responsible for enhancing beauty, it changed the whole game. It
Mm,
changed the whole game in my confidence and how I showed up, with my hair done, and my presentation of my salon area and the customer experience, and the booking website, all the small little logistics
right.
that 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 you think when you go book an appointment, you are now overseeing. So just really paying attention to the fine details of you are a business owner and you are in the customer service field. And it is not just, okay, yes, come get your hair braided. It's so much more than that. Especially if you would like to go full time. I'm a hair braider. This is what I do. Um, and so my next steps are to really venture away from the chair, which I've done. I've decreased some of my offerings and realized I just want one niche because my hands are in a lot of places. That's also another point. Knowing the drawback when you're
Mm,
having so many things and you want all these multiple streams of income, know when to draw back some things and say, I'm okay with doing this one thing that's my niche. And now I want to pay it forward. I want to teach the new generations of braiders and what I went through to learn. And I wish I would have had the opportunity to do it in college and, make money in college braiding
right,
hair. And,
right, right.
you know, so just really paying it forward. I have some high school students that want to come learn from me. So I'm like so excited to tap into that and really fine tune it and get it right. And hopefully, it takes off in a way that I never even imagined. So I just know when God puts something on my heart, I say, okay, let me write it down, make it plain, and let me help me execute, guide me in how
Mm.
I can execute this efficiently and a way that is helpful to serve others.
Yeah, it's funny the words that you're using. You're saying like your niche or your niche, and that's in the content creating world. That's one of the first things we have to find is what's your niche. What is your angle? What are you trying to deliver? What are you trying to get across to the public or to the, So you said that you was you're doing a public service, and then you just said a customer service. So right now I'm hearing service is definitely all about what you've been doing so far, and so you're giving back in a way. Now when you're sitting there with a person, and I'm sure I've seen it done. I've never. Well, I used to get it when I was young. I used to get cornrows and all because I used to have a lot of hair then. But I've seen it done. Um, I'm sure the conversations that you're having with someone, it gets a little personal. People are relying on you or for advice or whatever, throwing a lot of stuff at you while you're doing their hair. So I guess you have to get your mindset ready for, I don't know what I'm going to hear in this journey while I'm doing someone here. And so, do you take any responsibility, or you just don't give advice, or how do you what do you do with that?
I only add to conversation in terms of advice if I've had an experience
Mm,
and I can give advice to an experience, because I don't know who's going to walk into my chair. But I do know that I attract a certain customer. And I do know a lot of my customers are similar in terms of people, because of what happens is I've just gotten a lot of references from people
mm.
that I know, and then they know and they know. So hopefully birds of a feather are flocking together,
Right, right.
and I ain't getting the crazies. And so I've always been anxious about that though. Whenever I have a new client, I'm always anxious about, okay, I pray, God, I hope they have good vibes. If they want a silent appointment and they just came for their self-care, or if we want to watch episodes of, braiding takes some hours. So we
Yeah,
can watch a season of something and we kind of talk about that. That helps kind of drive the conversations too. Because I'm also one where I don't like drama. I'm not a fighter. I'm too cute for that. I don't do any of that. So I can't give you advice about what to do if some girl is bothering you, or, with your relationships, things of that nature. I can only give to things that I truly feel I've had an experience. And I can say, okay, this is what I've done, or I would, consider this, So I really try to stay away from, and thank God I haven't had encounters that are just completely crazy. Or if I have, I've definitely probably said, well, I don't know much about that, but
yeah.
do what you do,
Yeah,
So
no, I got what you're saying. So we got Niecy Jackson down there, and she made the comment. She hair braiding is her field as well. So she braids hair, and she
awesome.
also she also worked in an after school program and working with the kids in her area. Know that for sure. We got Gen X Effect down there. Hello to Gen X Effect. Thank you for being here on the Iron Shopping and Iron Show. And we're going up LaShawn B. Hey, and I believe I know who that is. I know who that is, but that's LaShawn. So it's always good to see her out here. MCK Paranormal Files, and so hello and thank you for being here. Celine the Celestial, thank you for being in here. Sharon Jackson, Tamara Mathis, who we got, Creating Change, and all of y'all, and thank you for being here. I got Dr. Raven Pharr with me, and just amazing. I mean, amazing, amazing. At such a young age, and I like what you said about knowing when to pull back, knowing when to say, "All right, that's enough," or "That's too much." But I know a lot of times we make not say make mistakes, but we take on more than we can chew. We put a lot on our plate. I know when I talk to people, even when I'm at work on my regular 9 to 5 job, and I'll say this is on the stove, but it's not on the plate. So we got a lot of things that's cooking, but it didn't make the plate yet.
Yeah.
So, and that's where we try to make sure that we don't overburden ourselves, overwhelm ourselves, and I know after listening to everything you said, it could be overwhelming at times. Like you say, you're dealing with a school, and you're dealing with, I got a client. So having those things separated and being able to uh, separate those things and make sure that you put everything in order, in perspective, and that's a good thing. A good thing that you're getting across, and I'm glad you shared it, because that's when I first started with YouTube. I had like 3 or 4 different channels, and I was trying to juggle all these different channels. Every time I went bowling, I had to post a bowling video. Every time I did this, I had to post this video, and it just got overwhelming, to the point. But I was told, don't stop doing what you're doing. You just don't have to post, at a separate channel. So I had to build playlists. So what I did was build playlists in my one channel, and I have a playlist for bowling, and a playlist for this, and a playlist for like the Iron Shopping and Iron Show has a playlist, and the We Be Jamming Live has a playlist. This Soothing Sounds has a playlist. So I started building playlists so that I can keep doing what I do, but I didn't have to bounce all over the place to let it be known. So
Yeah.
that's what I say. So Niecy Jackson said she just recognized you. So all this time you've been on here talking, and she just, I guess, figuring out who you are. So that's cool though. But thank you, Niecy Jackson, for even hanging out here with us. And the Gen X Effect said, yes, sir, glad to be here. And I'm glad that you're here on the Sharpening Iron show with our special guest, Dr. Raven Pharr. So is it, how does it feel to be called doctor?
Hmm. Um, I feel accomplished.
Mm,
I feel proud. Every time, a lot of people don't ask me that question.
mm,
A lot of
okay.
people do not ask me that question. That I've probably been asked that 5 times over the course of, this is my 3rd year. I graduated in 2022 when I was 28, and I I I now feel I know who I am.
Mm,
It doesn't change when I walk into a space, but it does change how people react to me when I walk into the space. So I just continue to stay true to myself, show my different sides of my personality. I'm really, really funny at heart. Like, I should be a comedian, low key, but
uh-oh. Okay. All right.
I just continue to show up as myself, and
Mm,
that is one piece of me.
right.
Um, so I feel accomplished. I feel relieved. I feel proud, and I am just sometimes lost for words. That, oh wow, I did that,
Mm,
and now I'm doing this, and now I'm
right.
doing this, and
Right.
now I'm doing this stuff together. So I'm just proud of my steps and just seeing it through, and
Mm,
really just seeing it through.
right. But that's what's up. And I'm glad to I'm glad to I'm glad I'm super proud of you for even just that answer alone, because like I say, the humbleness that you had with the answer, you know what I'm saying? I know you, it was a major milestone. It's not, a lot of people don't carry that, and not able to. I would say you can always go to school, but that's a great achievement that you received, and you deserve to have the title, and you earn the title, and so much, don't cut you short and don't call you that. So I want to make sure I continue to say that. I seen when your name came across, you didn't add it in there. So you could have, when you typed in your name, you could have put doctor, right? But you didn't. But that's just saying, it's reflecting on who you are, and your answer definitely went exactly to what I'm expecting. But in the comments, it's saying, who called you doctor first besides the school?
Ah, okay, story time.
All right, here we go.
So there was this guy, and uh, I had defended my dissertation, meaning you had your presentation, you were done with it, and you are unofficially Dr. Pharr. You're unofficially, and then you graduate, and then you for real, for real. But once you defend, you can go by the title of doctor. And so uh I had defended, I made a post on Instagram, and this guy DM'd me and said, I see you, Dr. Ray. And I said, who is this calling me Dr. Ray? One, yes, Ray is my nickname.
Mm,
But to put doctor in front of it, and I didn't know who they were. And I'm like, am I lost? Do I know this person? So that was a guy who put that in my DMs, who ended up becoming my boyfriend. Long story short. So yeah,
okay.
to see that question takes me back down memory lane.
All right, all right, all right. So your current boyfriend was the first person to call you Dr. Ray, other than the school, I guess, is that, who called you doctor?
Yeah, yeah. I had an experience where I said in a speech, I'm a part of Thurgood Marshall College Fund Teachers Quality and
Right.
Retention Program. Repping the shirt now. We are not just good, we are third good. Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
Marshall.
All right.
So I had a speech where I said to them, I will become Dr. Pharr one day. I don't know when it will be. And at that institute for 2 weeks, everyone called me Dr. Pharr the entire time. And I
Mm,
hadn't realized what I did in that speech was really manifest and affirm what was deep inside. And I applied to doctoral school that next semester and got in. And so, other than when I was officially or unofficially a doctor, that summer right before I had spoken into existence,
right.
then my DMs got blown up with Dr. Ray.
No, and that's what's up. That's what's up. Now, I know you're on different social media as far as I guess having a. But do you actually post content, or you're a content creator, or you just have channels? How does that work?
Yes, so I have multiple Instagram pages and I'm right there with you. Like it's kind of hard to like post everywhere and I was thinking about starting a vending machine page and it's just like, oh, it's so many different things. And so I have a personal page, I have a teacher's page, I have a braid page, but I don't have a vending machine page. So I used to create content around like fashion, and I used to create content about like how to be a fashionable teacher and math engaging strategies on my teacher page, things like that. And then I used to post hair braiding stuff, and so I've dabbled in content creating, but it does take effort. It really does take effort. And it can become overwhelming. And then sometimes I just don't post. And I'm like,
Right.
no, you have all this knowledge. You just have to figure out how to streamline it and or figure out a day when to do all of your content. I still haven't figured it out, but I just post as the impulse comes
Mm,
at this point.
right, right. Well, that's good. That's good. So you got a lot of things going on in your world. So, and I, excuse me, and I appreciate you even sharing just a little bit of your time with me today. I mean, definitely, I learned a lot. I did of so many different levels, and I appreciate that. But this is we're at that point of the show that we're almost at the end, and I thank you for allowing me to move the time on you. So I know that's a little challenging. I don't know if you're in a different time zone or not. Tennessee is more of that what the central time zone. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's about
Yeah,
8. Yeah, it's about
it's
to be
about to be 8. So I think we're getting ready to be 9. So yeah, that was the 1 hour. So yeah, so I'm on the East Coast, so on the Eastern time. So but with all of that, it's been definitely a pleasure. Now normally we go into the after show. Normally we go into the after show, but because I moved it an hour later, I didn't want to put too much on you. I know you got a lot on your plate. So I appreciate you. But it's been a real pleasure. It's been
Thank
a true
you.
pleasure.
Same.
So I'm gonna turn it over to you if you have anything that you want in any direction that you want to express to anybody out there. Those dreamers who are wanting to get into something or do something, the students that might be listening. This is your time to share with them. If you don't, whatever you got on your heart.
Yeah, I want to say do it. Whatever you're thinking, whatever idea, whatever dream you have, do it. I am proof that it can happen. You can do all things. You can pause things, pick them back up, put them back down, pay it forward and teach someone else and never pick it back up again. But do it. It's okay to tap into all of your talents and don't let distractions sway you or other opinions sway you from what you want to do. Yes, get feedback. Yes, ask questions. Yes, have mentors. Yes, have dialogue and healthy disagreements. But if it's what you want to do, write it down, make a plan, have goals, have action steps, and do it. So, Big Jack story time. I want to say thank you to you for doing this and having this idea in your mind and letting it become bigger and having commercial breaks. And I can only imagine what it was and what it is now and what it's going to be from now. So, thank you for allowing me in the space.
You're more than welcome, and thank you for that. We're trying. We're trying to get it
You
done. So
are doing. You are doing.
well,
We are.
I'm doing it. We're
Don't
doing it.
try.
We're
We
doing it
do.
100%. So I constantly, and what you just said, and I appreciate it. One, I give myself space to fail. So that means I'm going to try, and it's not saying I'm going to make mistakes. Mistakes is going to happen. But at the same time, I still get nervous for every show. I get nervous on the ideas and like, hey, because when you're dealing with this, and I just want to share that before we end this show, but when you're dealing with a lot of people you don't know when you're talking in the social media world. So trying to, send them an email or a text message and say, here's the link and this and that, it gets challenging, especially because if you don't know them. And it's like, okay, so now it's like you gotta have a plan B and you gotta have a plan C. And then even with this, you want to make it entertaining. So do people want to just listen to you interview somebody? Well, then yesterday we had the first IB Jamming live show, which was really, really cool. And so we're always coming up with different ideas, but you don't want to put too much out there because then you always got to scramble to keep all that stuff going. So I'm learning a lot from what you just said, about, knowing when I got to take a break. I got to I'm going to put a pause on this and we're going to come back to it because you could say, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But like, what do you really want to do? And what I really love to do is to be doing what I'm doing right now, being on side by side or having multiple people on and sharing the stories. And that's what I really, really love to do. So I appreciate you again for being on the show. I appreciate everybody that showed up tonight in the chats and had the questions. I don't know if anybody else has a question for Dr. Raven Pharr. If you do, you can drop it in the comments before we go, and maybe we can get it answered. And if not, if you listen to this later, definitely put your comments down there, and we'll be able to see them, and we'll make sure that Dr. Pharr can maybe drop an answer for you. So, Sherrod Jackson, thank you for popping in. The Gen X Effect, thank you. Nisi Jackson, thank you. William Jackson, thank you. Destined to Recover, thank you for popping in today. And they keep going up. I know for sure some more other people that was in there. LaShawn B, thank you. MCK, thank you for coming in. Celine, thank you from all the way from Australia. Thank you for being here with us. Tamara Mathis, Creating Change. We thank you all for being in, and all those who didn't put a comment down, but you did. We thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the Iron Sharpening Iron show where we prove that we are stronger together, that if each one would just reach one, we all would grow and glow. And until next time, I'm going to just say thank you again. God bless you. Have a good night, and we'll see you the next time. Dr. Pharr, thank you.
Peace. Thank
Peace.